when you get on the other side and you wake up and there's no Suboxone anymore, you wake up and you're almost like bracing for impact. So one of the most difficult parts of this whole process is getting off of the maintenance program that you're on, Suboxone or Methadone, whatever it may be. Before I get into any of this, I'm going to be making some assumptions here. I'm going to assume that you have a reliable source of Suboxone, especially, or Methadone, and that you've had a nice, long, slow, comfortable taper off. This is who I want to be talking to, because if you don't have any of those things and you're just kind of getting Suboxone off the street, or you're trying to make big jumps off of Suboxone or Methadone, you're probably like, I don't know, good luck. But if you've done everything else right and you're getting down to the 1 milligram of Methadone or 0.25 milligrams of Suboxone, and that anxiety's kicking in, know that it's completely natural. So for the rest of your taper, for the most part, things have been fairly comfortable. If you're tapering down at a comfortable rate, we're not dealing with any extreme cases of withdrawal whatsoever. Again, we hear cases of some light anxiety. I think that's just normal life for most people anyways. But nothing drastic. It's been fairly comfortable up to this point, but we get ready to look over that edge of there not being any Suboxone or Methadone left, and there's an understandable level of worry that comes along with that. What's going on there? So I went through the same thing, and when I look back on it, and when I was looking at it then, I was relating the whole situation kind of to an unhealthy relationship. In this unhealthy relationship, good things happened, bad things happened. I learned some lessons, I made some mistakes, but at the end of it, I knew the time had come for that relationship to end. And it was the same with Suboxone. And I love Suboxone. Like, it really helps me get through some really seriously difficult times. I got off of heroin basically pain-free, like without barely any withdrawal symptoms, with the Suboxone program. So when it came time for that to go away, I felt like there was like a loss or a void in my life, like something was missing from my life. And as I was approaching it, I started having second thoughts, I started having hesitations, but again, I had a really great doctor and psychiatrist that I got my Suboxone through their clinic. We talked through this stuff, and they really helped me understand that I was doing a couple things wrong. Mainly, I was looking at the whole separation of me and Suboxone in the wrong way. And if you guys are going through this, I think this advice may really help you. Whenever we go to, start something new, a new chapter in our life, there is a natural just level of nervousness or fear about moving forward into the unknown. And it's amplified a little bit with Suboxone because of this chemical dependency that we've been relying on to help us deal with emotions and stress and everything basically for years. So when we go to look at this, there's this inclination to kind of hold on or not change, or there's a hesitation to, maybe I need a couple more months on this. And really all that's doing is playing into the fears you have about the unknown, what it's gonna be like when you get off of Suboxone. The biggest piece of advice I can give you, assuming that you've done everything else right and you've been tapering slow and you've been comfortable and you've been incorporating the new healthy habits into your life, maybe some changes in your diet and exercise and meditation. If you're doing all that stuff, you need to just kind of open yourself up to the experience. Like, try not to fight it. And I think what you'll see is when you get on the other side and you wake up and there's no Suboxone anymore, you wake up and you're almost like bracing for impact. But if you kind of let it go and feel what's going on, you'll see that there's nothing really there. in a good way. Like, I mean, there's no pain, there's no symptoms, there's no sickness. And if there is any, sort of low level anxiety, and I did experience some of this, it was because I was still bracing for impact. I was like, oh, when's it gonna happen? Like, am I gonna get sick tonight? Am I gonna get sick tomorrow morning? And that even went away after a couple days when it just, all these things that I was worried about never happened. In full transparency, as weeks went on, I did go through some difficult life situations. I went through, a breakup. I went through, some changes at work that were, I lost a job and had to get a new job, and they were super stressful situations, and ones in which my emotions were kind of like ping-ponging, trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. And on top of that, knowing I didn't have Suboxone to just kind of tamper it down and allow myself to breathe easier. I knew I didn't have that anymore. So a couple things happened there. One, I got through it just fine. And two, I started to understand that I was able to live a life without a chemical dependency to help me get through, regular but stressful day-to-day situations. And as this process continued on, and I didn't have any, opiates or Suboxone in my case to help me deal with daily stressors, I started to create my own coping mechanisms, healthy ones, to help me get through stressful situations. And I started to learn how to breathe through anxiety spouts, and nothing serious, but if I felt anxiety coming on, I learned to teach myself to kind of focus on my breathing a little bit, think about the problem that I was going through, and I would quickly realize that it wasn't as big of a deal as my mind was spiraling it into. So, when you're getting to this point, you're, getting down to 0.1 milligram, you've been on 1 milligram, not 0.1 milligram, or you're on 1 milligram of methadone for a long time, and you're scared to make that jump, or you're taking 0.25 milligrams of Suboxone and you're like, I need this. Maybe for the time being, maybe you need it. But when you're at that low of a dose, I would really suggest trying to get yourself into a good place with these healthy habits and start to set up a game plan to make that jump. And set a timeline for yourself, because you're always going to be hesitant to jump into the unknown or that new chapter. But I can promise you, if you've been doing everything right, what you are afraid of is not going to be on the other side of the door. All right, it's just not there. We tend in our minds to build things up to this place that is just terrifying, and we don't want to experience it, and we don't want to go there, and we just want to stay in our comfortable little box with our 0.25 milligrams of Suboxone and not see the scary monster on the other side of the door. The big secret is the scary monster isn't there. All right. What is there is you going through some adversity and building these natural, healthy coping mechanisms to deal with everyday life. And as you do that, you start to build confidence, you start to build self-esteem, you start to make decisions in your own best interest, because you start to look at yourself like a person who has their shit together. And just because you're getting your shit together, and you deserve that. The comfort that 0.25 milligrams of Suboxone offers you will never shine a light on what your true potential is inside. And I know how scary it is. I was there. I remember waking up day one with no Suboxone and being like, oh fuck, like it's coming. And it's scary, but it never came. All right, and it's not going to come for you. Just being transparent, I don't want you guys, this does not mean make a crazy jump off of methadone or a drastic drop in your Suboxone. Greg and I always 100% preach a slow, longer, comfortable tapering method. I think that is hands down what gives people the highest rate of success for recovery. But when the time comes to make the jump, all right? You gotta be brave. It takes a little bit of courage, but I promise you, you're gonna find out things about yourself that you just didn't know existed before. You're gonna find inner strength that has been inside of you for a long time, but you've been scared to let it go to work. And until you put yourself in a scary or difficult situation like that, I don't think you ever get tested. And if you did everything else right, you're putting yourself in a really good position to be tested. All right, you've made smart decisions up until this point. There's no reason, logically, there's no logical reason for you to think that, all of a sudden you're going to be withdrawing like you're going cold turkey off of heroin day one, because that's not going to happen. The tapering method works, but when that jump comes, you got to make it. So if you're at that point, if you've had a long, slow tapering method and you're getting close to jumping off, don't be scared. I'm telling you guys, you will be amazed at what lies down the road of not having to rely on this crutch anymore. It's beautiful. And I know a lot of people say I need it or my life's gonna fall apart. Okay, I'd rather you stay on a low level of a maintenance program, Suboxone or Methadone, for instance, than jumping off and really putting yourself at risk for relapse. But again, if you put all the steps into place that Greg and I have gone over in our other videos, you've got a reliable source of for a slow tapering method for Suboxone or Methadone. You've gotten yourself away from the social circle that has been bringing you down, people that are still using opiates. You started incorporating healthy habits into your life, including diet, exercise, meditation. You're not going to relapse. You've built your arsenal up too much. You're not going to fall off like that. You're too far away from that lifestyle, and that's what comes with a nice long tapering method. So if you've done everything right and you're getting down to 0.1, you're getting down to 0.25, have some confidence in yourself. Open yourself up to the experience. Go right at it. Shine a light on it, and you're going to see that monster's not there, and you can live an incredible, incredible life without relying on these chemicals anymore. But Greg and I have experienced this for ourselves, and life is really beautiful on the other side of this thing. And our goal is to have as many of you guys experience that life as we possibly can, just by sharing our experience, sharing our stories, giving whatever little advice we may have, and helping to answer your questions. But if you don't believe me, even after that long rant, go check out our website. We have a section there for success stories where people have been doing, what we suggest you do with these healthy steps and how you approach this thing. And we're starting to build a pretty big group of people that have found success getting off of their maintenance drug when their counselors and their doctors were not telling them the same thing, and they thought they were going to be on it forever. That's a whole nother video of why people want you to stay on your maintenance program, and maybe why people think it's so scary. It's because the people who want us on these drugs tell us the things that we need to hear to stay on those drugs. But no matter what, go on our website, check out the success stories. There's no reason you can't be one of them. If you play your cards right and you're smart about the decisions you make in this tapering process, and just changing some day-to-day habits in your life, you could be living a really, really incredible life in a short period of time. I look back and it's crazy. It's hard for me to believe I'm where I'm at right now, owning a business, having a family. We want that for you guys. And, go through our videos, look at everything we got. It's just a bunch of advice that has really been working for people, and it can work for you too. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for the comments, the likes, the subscribes. You guys have been writing in emails, giving us your success stories and telling you how things are working, and you're getting away from your maintenance program, or you're working a maintenance program successfully on your way tapering off of it. And it's just awesome. We've been doing this for a little bit over a year now, and we would have absolutely hung it up if it weren't for you guys writing in and encouraging us to keep moving forward. You guys are an inspiration to us. So keep doing what you're doing, and we'll keep doing what we're doing, and together we got this thing nailed. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon.